Hey everybody, welcome to episode 12 of 50 Shades of J. Sorry it took so long. I've been having some problems with my flip camera. I'll tell you what they are, maybe one of you has some flip knowledge. It basically doesn't keep a charge. So if I put a brand new pair of batteries in the flip and then shoot one of these, by the time and then I'll turn it off right after, and then the next day, by the time I start shooting the second one, it'll say that the batteries are almost dead. But then I'll take the batteries out and put them in something else, and they'll be full. So it's either not reading the batteries, because it's not using the batteries up that quickly, and when I plug the USB of the flip into my computer, it doesn't charge them either. So I really don't know what to do to fix that. Anyway, chapter 12 is very similar to several of the other chapters. She goes for a run. She's still feeling icky about the contract and about the situation with Christian, although she is obsessed with him. Sends him an email saying, "Okay, I've seen enough. It was nice knowing you," because of the contract, as a joke, not realizing that without any emoticons, what is he supposed to think? How is he supposed to know? So he shows up at her house like, "Whoa, lady, I thought we were doing good," and she's like, "Oh, well, I was just kidding." And he's like, "Well, good, because I'm gonna fuck the shit out of you right now." So they roll around in bed. He ties her up and blindfolds her, and does a little bit of ice play with ice on the nipples, ice on the belly, which I did once back many years ago. On a first date, we had a really good time up to that point. I think we went to the movies. We hung out and talked for hours afterwards, laughing, having a really good time. And then I brought out some ice and rubbed them on her nipples and kissed her all over her body. And still, it was a really good time. Had fun. She had fun. She was moaning. Put the ice away afterwards. We talked again for another few hours, and then she took off and never talked to me again. Well, she talked to me again. She just never went on another date with me again. And I think the lesson there was ice play on the first date might not be warranted, or girls don't like second dates with Jared. It's one or the other. I'm not too sure which one is which. So they end up having sex again. She's begging him for it. Just begging, moaning, twitching, shaking, almost crying. I'm a ball of sexual tense need. He stares down at me for a moment, measuring my need. Then he grabs me suddenly and flips me over. It takes me by surprise, and because my hands are tied, I have to support myself on my elbows. He pushes both my knees up the bed so my behind is in the air. It's so funny because, this book is trying to do these graphic, erotic, sexual scenes, but it's written like a young adult novel. So, my behind is in the air. I understand that you don't have to swear all the time, but when he's got you face down and ass up in bed, and you're using the word behind, it doesn't have the courage of its convictions. It wants to be this erotic masterwork, but it's written like the Hunger Games. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just terrible. He pushes both my knees up to the bed so my behind is in the air, and he slaps me hard. Before I can react, he plunges inside me. I cry out from the slap and from his sudden assault, and I come instantly again and again, falling apart beneath him as he continues to slam deliciously into me. He doesn't stop. I'm spent. I can't take this. And he pounds on and on and on. Then I'm building again. Surely not. No. Come on, Anastasia. Again, he growls through clenched teeth, and unbelievably my body responds, convulsing around him as I climax anew. Calling out his name, I shatter again into tiny fragments, and Christian stills, finally letting go, silently finding his release. He collapses on top of me, breathing hard. So they talk. She doesn't like the fact that he's still friends with his initial dom partner from when he was a kid. That makes her really jealous. They're going to hang out on Wednesday, and they're going to have the big discussion about the contract and decide whether it's going to happen or not. She cries about everything. Oh, and as soon as they get done having sex, she gets really petulant and really pursed lips and just gets all crazy bitchy with him again, which is her MO. Then sends him some notes on the contract. She doesn't like the fact that the contract refers to everything is in her benefit, because she thinks it's all for his benefit. Are you aware you are my only sexual partner? I don't take drugs, and I've not had any blood transfusions. I'm probably safe. What about you? Yeah. I can terminate at any time if I don't think you're sticking to the agreed limits. Okay, I like this. Obey you in all things, except without hesitation or discipline? We need to talk about this. So, right there, she's not really grasping the whole thing. She wants a 1-month trial period, not a 3-month trial period. She doesn't want to commit to every weekend. Using my body as you see fit, sexually or otherwise. Please define or otherwise. Doesn't like the idea of getting flogged. Likes the idea of him saying that he can't be loaned out to someone else, but then still has to bitch about it. Is pissed she can't touch herself without his permission. She doesn't understand why she can't look into his eyes and why she can't touch him. And she'll only agree to 6 hours of sleep instead of 8 hours of sleep, or is it 9? Food. I am not eating food from a prescribed list. The food list goes or I do. Deal breaker. I love that the food is the only thing that's the deal breaker. You know, in a list that talks about genital clamps and fisting, the food is what the deal breaker is. And she'll only wear the clothes as long as she's with him. I don't understand what her deal is. Anyway, so she sends that off to Christian and then falls asleep. And that's the end of the chapter. So chapter 13 will be the halfway point, which I am very, very excited about getting to. I'm assuming this chapter will be more of her complaining about things. More of Christian being steely-eyed and intense. Hopefully a decision will be made about whether she's going to follow the list and become his slave or not. That's about it. It's pretty bad. Sorry this took so long. I have batteries now, so I will make sure to get them up much quicker. You guys are beautiful. Thanks a lot for following along with my adventure. And each one of you are sexy. Each one of you are incredibly sexy. Especially you.